Defers to Booker for the long range.
Phoenix. Phoenix Suns, and you know we up next. Yeah, we working for that championship ring. We the valley, it ain't nothing but a thing. Phoenix. Phoenix Suns, and you know we up next. Yeah, we working for that championship ring. We the valley, it ain't nothing but a thing.
That's it. Take a mouthful now, Gav.
Welcome, everybody, to the Aussie Suns Fans podcast. I am your host, Gavin, and we are joined, as always, by everyone's favourite Aussie in Singapore, Nate. How you going, my friend?
What up? It's a new year. Actually, this is our second pod this year.
Yeah,
That's
I think
right.
it's our second.
We started with a screamer with Justin, didn't we?
Yeah, that's right.
Mate, all's good over here, but like I said to you earlier, I think it's just as wet here as it is in Melbourne. It hasn't stopped raining here for 3 days, non-stop, day and night. It's a bit wet. Oh, and before I move on,
loads of fun. Yeah.
Quick shout out. I know I just said to you guys here with the NBA Finals 93 cap. Just want to give a quick shout out to Maddie at the Insight Fantasy Pod who sent me this for Christmas. Thanks, buddy.
Oh,
Good on
he
you,
the one that
Matty.
got for you? That guy that came to our watch party up in Brisbane.
Yeah, big tall fella. Yep.
Yeah.
The one who won the jersey.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
I think
And Pacers fan.
No. He's a LeBron fan.
Okay.
We'll leave that.
he's
And we're of course as always joined by everybody's favourite piece of shit, Boyd. How are you, Boyd, my friend? Are you enjoying life up there in sunny Brisbane?
Mate, I am. It's really nice weather here. And I'm not actually the favourite piece of shit at the moment, mate. I'm a ball of positivity all of a sudden after our recent stretch. So yeah, I'm a fucking
Recent
great
stretch.
to be around right now.
You're just
our streaking.
Yeah, streaking. Oh, you've switched back to the world of positivity, have you, Boyd?
Yeah, kinda.
Kinda.
Baby steps.
We'll find out. And it has been
streaking 2 games. We're streaking.
and we have been typical Melbourne down here. 2 days of 30 to 35 degrees, sunny, beautiful, hot, into a massive thunderstorm that basically wiped out the entire fucking road system today, which was fantastic. Gentlemen, since we last potted, and Boyd touched on the positivity, since we last potted, clearly the Phoenix Suns watched our pod, picked up a couple of pointers, a couple of tips, and things have started to shift and turn around. The number one thing that happened since we potted last was Bradley Beal coming off the bench. I'm really curious to see, because when we spoke about the fix last week, no one brought this up as a potential opportunity for what we can do. So I'm really interested to see what your feedback is on Bradley Beal coming off the bench since that has happened since our last pod. Because, of course, the announcement happened about 6 hours after we potted, which generally is what happens when we pod. Something comes out about a couple of hours later. Boyd, what's your thoughts on Beal coming off the bench?
Hats off to the Phoenix Suns for having the big old gonads to make a move like this. And also, on the other end of the spectrum, hats off to Bradley Beal for taking it like a real fucking champ and just getting on with business, head up, positive around teammates, even the guys that are taking his slot, and just being a fucking pro, man. It's really good. Is it the fix, the overall fix that we need for our end glory? I don't know. That obviously won't, we won't know for another 10 to 20 games if there's no moves made. But yeah, look, it's working really, really well. I really want to be a fly on the wall in that front office and know the actual conversations and what the actual reasoning is for benching him. But yeah, exciting. All right, Nate, what's your thoughts? It is.
I've been pro Beal coming off the bench the whole time. I think I love referencing 2K because, when you play your My Player and you insert yourself in the lineup, there's just too much offense in the starting lineup. And when you move some of that to the bench, you change up your scoring power across the staggered minutes. And I think it's working accordingly. Overall, it hasn't affected his minutes, which is good. So I think after a few games now coming off the bench, he's seen that it hasn't changed his minutes. He's not a role player. He's still one of the key three. It's just changing up the cycle of when he's playing on the court. And I mean, even today's game, when you look at when the big three were together, especially in the first half, they looked great. They actually looked fluent together again for a change. I think it's been a positive change. It didn't just come with Beal, though. You got to acknowledge that they've now thrown Nurk off the bench as well, and now, or started on the bench, and now moved to just coaches did not play decision. Constantly.
We'll talk about him very shortly.
So, I think when you talk about Beal, though, you look at the bigger picture, and we know there's something going on floating him and Nurk together. So I don't think the two are independent of each other. But if we're just looking at Beal, it's been a positive move.
So from my perspective, and Boyd was one of the first people I spoke to about this, or as part of a group, but I thought they benched the wrong bloke. I still believe they've benched the wrong bloke because just something you touched on there in what you said there, Nate. The big three still work together very, very nicely right now. With Beal coming off the bench. Now, Beal coming off the bench has absolutely been a success so far, and I'll get into why I think that is the case, like, after I touch on this first part. Honestly, I think at the moment, Tyus Jones is having zero impact on this team, and I'm still going to roll it back to when we were at our best last year and on our best run before the playoffs last year. It was with Beal and Book starting in the two guard positions with KD in the team as well. I still believe that is our best starting lineup. But you two also are well aware that I am very much an exponent of I don't really give a flying fuck about who starts and who doesn't. It's who finishes games that matters. So where they come on and where they play their minutes, it really doesn't worry me. I couldn't give a rat's ass. As long as they're playing the minutes that are key minutes when we need them to be playing them, that's all that matters. What I think, though, has really worked in the Bradley Beal off the bench experiment is the change in Beal's mindset. So Beal has basically deferred to KD and Book since he's come across to Phoenix. Even last year, he filled that leadership role, but he still deferred to the other two a lot. I think what we've seen is a mindset change. Since they've brought Beal off the bench, he's gone, fuck it. When I'm out on the floor, when it comes time to, I'm going to get mine. And that's what he's done. I mean, outside of today, the previous two of the previous three, he's been the top scorer, if not close to the top scorer on the team. He's taking his shots now that we used to see him taking at Washington. He's more confident in his decision-making since he's come off the bench. So from that sense, I'm happy that they started Beal off the bench, but I don't think it's a long-term thing. I think it changes very, very soon, and I think we start to see Tyus Jones come off the bench.
Look, on your point with Beal, look, it doesn't affect our salary and what we pay him, where we play him, right? So he's getting, just a quick calculation, roughly $610,000 per game. Now, it's all stigma that if you're getting that much money, you start. But really, if it's a team decision, they're paying the money fucking regardless. So if he's having more impact off the bench and playing the same minutes and fixing rotational issues and maybe fixing chemistry, who gives a shit? I mean, why should he give a shit? He's still getting $610,000, whether he fucking gets his name called in the starting lineup or whether he comes off the bench. So, I mean, good on him for taking on the chin and making it, being part of the team decision.
Boyd,
is he sucking you back in? Is Beal sucking you back in? As just
he is a great human being.
Bench, how seamless it's been. He is.
No, I've always been a fan of Beal.
Sucked out. Yeah. Look, I don't think we were ever sucked out he's been a victim of circumstance more than anything. And but just the way that he's handled everything. Why don't $50 million a year players generally get put on the bench if that suits the team best? It's due to ego. It's due to them becoming a cancer in the locker room. It's due to all this shit that would generally happen, and none of it's fucking happening. And it's fucking refreshing, man. In like a big shit fight fucking season.
And you can look at what Jimmy Butler's doing in Miami right now, where it's a complete nutter clusterfuck. Is what's going on over in Miami because Jimmy doesn't want to be there no more. You know what Bill did? Bill went, all right, you put me on the bench. I'm just going to come out and play. And not only has he come out and play though, as I said, what I think it did was it just prodded a mindset change in Bill. And I think that if he goes back into the starting lineup, that's not going to change now. I think he knows exactly where he can. I think over this last 4 games, he started to work out exactly where he can fit in this team.
There was a lot of pressure because he had very small windows to showcase his offense in that starting lineup, and I think that added to the pressure. That you saw more of the herky-jerky offense, the in and out, the dribbling and not really getting to his spots. And in this second unit, when he is that prize piece. And, you know, there is a lot of the times there's a Booker or there's a KD out there as well, but there's a lot of times when they're not. And he's playing point guard, basically. And, you know, I saw the connection with him and Ryan Dunn today, like pumping up. Ryan Dunn pulled Beal out of a bad play where he was going fucking nowhere and just muscled through in the paint and got a bucket. And it was just like, and Beal's pumping him up. You don't see it much nowadays in this team, and it was just a real feel-good moment. It's good to see Beal getting his, regardless of where it is in the rotation. And yeah, man, it's been a nice change of pace.
Yeah, and now out on the floor, and look, Steve just wrote it here. He has seemed a little salty in the post-game interviews and stuff like that. But out on the floor with the way he interacts with the team, I've seen everyone start to talk about the fact that Beal's on his way out because he didn't get involved in a huddle of 5 players in the game a couple of days ago, which was Book and 4 other players. But it didn't matter that KD and no one else was in that huddle. It was just that Beal walked past it. So all of a sudden he's on his way out and he doesn't. Everything else he's done body language wise and the way he's connecting and everything with the team has been
extremely unfair.
Look at the situation where he has been a little bit salty. The situation was, I believe he's referencing when Kellen Olsen, I think, and Gerald Bourget were, maybe Gerald, but they were going at him about the no trade clause thing and
exactly.
Repeatedly
touchy shit. And he wasn't, it was going on and on and on and on. And it was like every single question has been coming back around to the same fucking thing. The Jimmy Butler stuff brought up. And that's sort of stuff that's between him and his agent, obviously, whether he wants to go somewhere or not. But he wasn't that salty. There's plays, if it was a Kevin Durant situation, there'd be a lot more fucking salt and fire.
I think you can just read Beal's face in those post-game interviews and it says, oh, fuck me, this shit again. I think calling it salty is unfair because it's what Gav said, what Boyd said is they're just hitting him with the depressing shit that has not been confirmed to him.
It's like your mum coming up to you when you're fucking 11 years old and saying, hey, when are you moving out? When are you moving out? Because I've got this boarder that wants to jump in there and they're going to pay me. I'm going to make a bit more money than I'm making out of you. So, be your fucking elf, mate. 11-year-old. You know what I mean? Maybe not like that, but.
Look, my folks said to me, when are you moving out? We want to sell the house.
But you were fucking 42 years old at that point, Nate. That's a bit different.
I was 42 when I moved to Singapore, you wanker.
I know.
He's
when are you going to start sleeping in your own bed, mate? That was after your 30th birthday. Fuck.
You're a dick.
Anyway, what's your thought? The flow on topic out of what I touched on there before. I just want to get your thoughts on where Tyus is at the moment, because Beale moving to the bench, I feel like, has just basically removed Tyus from everything. He's not handling the ball. He's barely getting any assists or anything else. I mean, he's just not really having an impact at the moment. And if all he's doing is running a defensive play on the defensive end of the court, how much impact is Tyus really having there? Because he's kind of getting cooked.
No, he's not out there for a defensive impact at all. He's been muscled out of what he was told he was here to do. The lead guard in this team, which is not how it's supposed to be constructed, is Devin Booker. He's averaging the most assists. He's averaging the most assists. He's doing a majority of the playmaking, and the usage rate of what's his name? Fucking forgot his name.
Tyus Jones.
Tyus Jones. His usage rate is way down, and it's actually going down. So this is an actual. It feels like it's an actual movement from the big two, to play make more, which is. Look,
Tyus is a better player off the bench, right? He's made a career out of being one of the best backup point guards in the league. So why wouldn't we put, now that we have a Bradley Beal with a different mindset, why wouldn't we have Tyus Jones coming off the bench instead?
Yeah. Man, I think it's been incredibly unfair yet again. We went back to the start of the season. We fucking loved having Tyus Jones. We sang praises of
having Tyus.
Feeding the ball. He reshaped an offense. Then it went to shit. I did write this note down.
Reshape an offense.
Hey,
he wasn't running the ball that often. He never has. It's been one of the complaints that everyone's had. We got a point guard, yet Kevin Durant's always got the ball.
Well, I disagree with your sentiment.
How's that going to? Tyus can't change that. There's a hierarchy.
No, he can't.
And it starts.
Yeah, absolutely.
It starts at booking. I don't think. I feel
you were talking about point book though, and the whole point of Tyus Jones was bringing Book back into an off guard position, so that we didn't see so much fucking ISO ball.
When all this,
we don't want the ISO ball.
It seems like when all this went down, Book and KD said, "Oh yeah, Tyus, yeah, we need a table setter. That's great. Yeah." And as soon as they walked out of that office, they're like, "Yeah, fuck, we're not getting down with that. Nah, basically, we're going to fuck that motherfucker. He ain't getting shit. He's gonna get some fucking Josh Okogie fucking treatment, that cunt."
Well, in the meantime, we have got somebody else who wants to have input on this matter. One of our favourite guests,
who we didn't want to have a beer
from
with.
the Suns Planet podcast, didn't invite us to his wedding, by the way, but we brought him onto our podcast. We invited him onto our podcast, even though he did not invite us to his wedding. Fallen founder, aka Jake from Suns Planet podcast. How are you, my friend?
Hey, bada bing, bada boom. Realest guys in the room. How you doing?
A little bit of space to the mic there, my friend.
That was very loud. That was very,
there you go.
loud.
A little bit better. The great news is now
he hit the mute button.
And now you've hit the mute button.
The greatest news is mute. Fuck yeah.
That is good news. It is good news that you muted.
And that's all I have to say about Bradley Beal.
Did you invite Tyus Jones to your wedding?
Yeah, I'm glad that you guys jumped on right as you guys were trying to bench Tyus Jones. But side note, don't forget, I know where you guys live now, and the wedding is in May, so don't be upset if the U.S. Postal Service finds you in Singapore and Australia.
After the
be
wedding.
About bloody time. The only reason you'd invite us now is for gifts. That's the only reason.
Hey,
the missus wants to go to Japan or Europe. I was like, oh, okay, hold on. I've got friends everywhere in the world that I can hit up for money. We can do that. I mean, I see Nate go to the Ritz-Carlton Four Seasons every week with a new gal. So
you're also on a podcast with one person who will never send you money ever.
And has never seen the inside of Ritz.
In fairness, I think the country of Australia is tired of sending this guy money. I mean, how many more kids is he going to have that's on the country's dole, right?
And that's why you're here.
Hey,
Jake, talk to us about
running low on Monopoly money.
Jake, talk to us about Tyus and Bradley Beal. We've had the discussion. I've put it out there. I did say it early in our Twitter chat that we have between each other. You actually were the first one to respond to my comment of how pissed off do you think Suns Twitter would be if I come out now and go, we benched the wrong guy? What's your thoughts on this?
That's why I was kind of curious because, well, first off, I thought you guys were like going on an hour ago. So then I see that Boyd has said, oh, yeah, we're an hour later. But so first off, I wanted to fire that across the bow. But did we bench the wrong guy? I don't think so, because we saw what this team can do last year without a point guard, and that's get swept in the first round. So I think this is just more of a tweak type system. Beal has had 2 games out of 4 games since he's been moved to the bench. Tonight,
I'd say 3. Tonight was good. Yeah, I thought he was extremely effective tonight. I mean, he didn't play as much.
10 shooting.
Yeah, but you're looking at a box score. When that game needed to kick off in the first half, it was Bradley Beal who was influential in that. He didn't play that much in the second half.
He was a -4.
He didn't play that much in the second half.
4th worst on the team. No. Worse only than Oso and Kevin Durant. So I don't know. I'll give it to you.
We're gonna talk about some Kevin Durant too very shortly.
I'll say that Beal, maybe it was an okay game. I'll give you that one. How about that? But the 2 games that he's played stellar, and we talked about this today on Suns Planet. I was like, that's amazing. If he can keep this up, then he should just look at this as, I'm going to be the 6th man of the year for the next 3 straight years and just dominate that award and take a lot of pride in it. And I think he still can. I don't think if you brought Beal back in and put Tyus on the bench, and then you have Tyus and Monty and Grayson Allen coming in with, I don't know, Yusuf Nurkic or Oso and
Did you forget? I was going to say, did you forget Royce O'Neal, or just because he's been out a couple of games?
Exactly.
Well, hang on a minute. That's another conversation we'll have about where he fits in.
Firepower coming into that can create anything on their own.
Did you not watch the last quarter today?
I actually didn't. No, I caught.
There was a guy wearing number 8 who created a fucking shitload of offensive power in the last quarter by himself.
Okay. Is he become like the closer then?
He was certainly the closer today because the Jazz closed off that game. Yeah. The Jazz closed up that game to 3 points, and then Grayson Allen finished it with 3 straight shots.
Well, and I'm sure you guys watched the last game where it was against the Hawks, and it looked like it's not true. It's not true. It's not a Fanning the Flames episode. We don't talk over each other at all. But no, if you watch that Hawks game, Kevin Durant missed a shot, bucket by the Hawks. I think somebody else turned the ball over, basket by the Hawks, and I thought, here we go again. We're gonna crap the bed here, and all of a sudden, Grayson Allen acted like the biggest man on the court and drove into the teeth of the defense and basically did like a little baby hook power shot and got knocked to the ground, put the ball in the basket. Grayson Allen might have the biggest balls on the team right now.
And he's another one. He's another one that's woken up, right? During all of this, especially recently, we've seen Grayson Allen just wake up. The shots back, everything. We saw the Michael Jordan-esque up and under today from Grayson Allen as well. So he's another one we've started to see some touch come back from Grayson over these last couple of games, which has been great. Look, we did run an hour late today, Jake, mainly because we decided we were going to run, as a return favor, we were going to run the Suns Planet intro. So by the time it just finished. By the time that finished, we were able to come online. Quick answer, yes or no. Nate, would you start Beal over Tyus?
No.
Boyd?
That's his usual level of input.
I was going to say I like his rapid response.
He's a bit fuzzy, and we can't hear him at the moment. Jake?
No, I wouldn't do it.
Okay, I would. So there we go.
Let's talk. Go sit on the beach by yourself, bitch.
Let's talk about the fact that the other part of this jigsaw puzzle was with Bill getting benched to start the games, was Nurkic getting benched to start the game. We saw Nurk come off the bench in the first game after the benching. We haven't seen Nurk since. Nate, any comments, whatever, about Nurk and his disappearance?
I still like Nurk. I still like that traditional center, and I so wanted him to just be better than Ayton was, to be all the different things that he wasn't able to develop into straight away, and we could see it. And I don't know why he seems to be getting all the blame for everything. We obviously don't see inside the locker room and hear what's going on, but obviously something's been said by someone or to someone that has upset the apple cart to land him a DMP, coach's decision. So I'm a little concerned because I think we said after or just before our, as Boyd puts it, streak of 2 games, it was inevitable that something's happening at the trade deadline. This team's getting a shake-up. Since then, they seem to have turned 2 games around, not for 4 quarters, but still. And it looks like writing's on the wall for him, and I don't necessarily want him to go.
Boyd.
Can you guys hear me okay?
Yeah.
We can now, mate.
Yeah, it's a shame.
Hey, yeah, Nurk, I've got a soft spot for Nurk, but he's been playing fucking horrible, man. I think it's I don't think it's all his fault though. I think he's a victim of a lot of change to our offense that doesn't suit him as a player. I think put him in a different situation, and he's not as bad as he's been this season. 2 DNPs in a row. I mean, fuck, he's yeah, I think he's going to get traded. And if Washington want to take Yusuf on and give us Valanciunas, I think that we.
He's the same player.
Same player.
Fucking older.
Hey, that cunt finishes. He can finish. Nurk can't finish. Okay, that one thing alone, and he doesn't turn the ball over as much. Them 2 things right there are the 2 main gripes with Nurk this season. He's fucking.
Jake.
He's way better.
He's just like, please shut up, Boyd. Jake.
So Oso Guidara, I get from an athleticism perspective that he's getting minutes, but I don't know what Plumlee offers that Nurk does not, and that's why I'm a little confused with why Plumlee is getting the start instead of Nurk if there is a healthy Nurk. I would say go Nurk and go Oso, and you can start whoever you want based on the matchups. But I mean, Plumlee doesn't shoot threes at all. I mean, at least Nurk can hit them if he's left wide open. I think he's a better passer. I think he's as good at rebounding. In terms of finishing, neither one finishes. Neither
one.
Exactly.
Double down on what you're saying, Jake. Mason Plumlee has had a couple of games where he has not taken a single field goal.
Yeah.
So you're rolling in what we hated about DA and his fucking tentativeness and his being soft offensively. Yeah, but he got no fucking, because he got a block and he and the other guys were humming. He just sneaks around the back. No one notices. No one says too much. But he gets looked at under a different microscope than Nurkic. I think you're 100% right. So yeah,
but that's surely now. And look, I've never been a massive Nurk basher like everyone else has, but is that not because? Let's look at body language and everything out on the floor pre this period. Is that just not a mindset and body language thing? I mean, Plumlee might not be heavy scoring or anything like that, but he played. No, I agree with you, Jake. They play very, very similar roles, but it just looks like Plumlee's engaged. and Nurk's not.
Before we move too far on, I know we're talking about Nurk, but I just want to make the statement. I reckon the Clippers fucked up Mason Plumlee. He was a stud in Charlotte, and the minute he got the Clippers and moved to the bench, we got that bench version of Mason Plumlee.
Well, didn't he break something? He had a bad injury that cost him miss a lot of time in LA.
He's old. And
they fucked him.
And I was going to say what Boyd said.
He's just off on him. Yeah,
he's just old now. It's a simple look. Oso's the best center on our rotation
on the planet
right now. From an athleticism point of view, and a mindset of competing, Oso's the best on our roster, but he's not ready to start. He's got a couple of years still to develop the body strength, everything else. Needs to fill out.
A few more breakfast burritos, a few
but
more.
That's the concern right now, is that he is probably the best center on our rotation at the moment.
So has Nurk lost his ability, or just the fire up his ass?
I think Nurk's lost the. I think Nurk's lost the mental engagement with Phoenix. I think he's out. He's already checked out.
He's inherited the same because he was in that trade with DA. He's inherited that fucking you have to be worth this much. The same as what DA had with that number 1 pick hanging over his head. He has a different level to hold up to than the other centers in this rotation. We've got one that's a second round pick and playing he's younger. He's got fucking he's everything that he does, he can fucking fart on the bench and everyone's gonna clap and give him a high five. But yeah, Nurk's inherited that same hate from the DA thing. It's just what it is.
And I think
did we all just forget when Yusuf Nurkic was taking punches from dudes in the face like 1 week ago, and everyone's like, Nurk actually cares. He's actually going out there and he'll stand up to somebody and fight somebody. And now, like, he gets suspended, and as soon as he gets back, we're like, he's not athletic. Good thing he's on the bench. He doesn't even need to be played.
Exactly.
I don't think anyone said that the reason he's not playing is because he's not athletic. Because Nurk's a grinder, right? Now, I don't think Nurk took those punches to the face or anything like that for the Phoenix Suns. Nurk was just shitty and he wanted to punch someone.
Hey, no, I love that. I love that play from Nurk. I think old Johnny V from Sunsteam, he was going on about there was someone giving a fuck at that point, and I agreed with him like 10,000%. I love to see it. Look, I don't think his attitude's been bad. I think there's probably been more bad attitude from the fan base and probably within that team directed at Nurkic. He's an easy target.
I think Nurk's checked out, right?
It's easier for a Book or a KD to have a fucking bark at Nurk than it is for them to have a bark at each other. I mean, Nurk was only getting the same amount of turnovers per game for a short period that Kevin Durant does on a weekly basis.
on a quarterly basis. The Nurk is, for mine, Nurk's resigned to the fact that a trade's going to happen, and he's going to move on. It's just a matter of whether or not another team would take Nurk on. And I think at the moment the bookmakers' favourites is Washington for a Valanciunas type. I mean, it's pretty much exactly the same big doofus head that we're going to bring in. Right now, honestly, at the Suns rotation with what we've got everywhere else on the court, we just need some centers that'll come in and hustle. I keep seeing some stuff around Duop Reef. That's the type of center that the Suns need right now. Someone that's going to put screens on and then hustle on a cut to the basket.
Oh, get me fucking Nick Richards, please. Can we get those that one?
Are you talking about the dude who, against the Suns, airballed 4 shots?
Yeah, Sam, get him.
Yeah, he's amazing. I can't wait for him to come in and not get shit hung on him by the Phoenix Suns fucking Twitter world. Because that's exactly what's going to happen.
His team
he would be murdered in about a week, and they'll be screaming for him to get traded with a week to go. Question for you, gents. Since we potted last, and I think this might have been a So Says Jay influence, but We had the discussion a week ago about the lack of killer instinct in everyone's favourite Phoenix Sun and probably the greatest Phoenix Sun of all time, Devin Booker. Since our last pod, because I reckon Book watched, clearly, because we're mates, me and Book.
Mm-hmm.
I think he watched. Is Book back, Jake?
I feel like, I don't know if he's back. He certainly has had some great games, but I feel like his role has been tweaked a little bit because we're seeing the point Book a little bit more now that Beal's been moved to the bench. I mean, the assists have been almost 9-10 a game over the last, 4 or 5 games in a row. But he's going to the line when he can. If he's missing, shots, which he had 0 of 8 from 3-point land a couple of games ago. But I feel like we're starting to see total package Book a little bit more over this last stretch. I'm here for it. Like if you're having a bad time shooting, go find other ways to contribute. So I want to see it a few more times before I would say Book's back, because it was so many games of him not being Book.
Boyd?
Yeah, it started. It started. Like, he's not back yet. Look, he's the way that he was talking in post-game interviews and everything. I saw a couple with Dwayne Rankin where he was he didn't seem as cocky. He didn't seem as much like that cocky, I'm with KD, I'm the coolest cat, you can't fucking sit with me type of guy. He actually seemed like a guy that was accountable. And to quote him, he said something along the lines of, we can't play the blame game and blame something else or blame someone else. We have to be accountable ourselves. And since that, he's had a couple of other spurts where he's said to me the right thing that made me sort of believe that he was actually trying, and he's starting to come back. So it's been like a bit of a mix with Bradley Beal going to the second unit and Beal having a somewhat of a mindset change, and yeah, it's showing on the court. But yeah, look, he's not back yet, but we'll see. We'll see over the next 5 or 10.
Nate?
I think you're right. I think Book did. There we go. We're reverting back. I think Book did watch our last pod. I think he saw me say that I would socially experiment with betting on the opposition to see if it affected the team. I think he looked at that and he went, you know what? I'm going to vote for you for fuck that guy and stick that up your ass because I'm going to pull my finger out. And then we got a couple of good games back. Just roll all those segments into one big splurge there. They like that?
Stick this up your ass and I'm going to pull my finger out. What was that like?
Well, we have a pull your finger out segment,
Yeah, okay. You'll see it very shortly, Jake. It's been over the last few games. It's been great to see Book getting back into the mindset of just doing what Book does. And not only has the point output lifted, but we're seeing the assist, and Boyd, you brought it up before, the assists are coming back in. He's now getting to that guard stage where he's having his 25 to 35 point games and getting 8 to 12 assists. It's great.
His passing seemed a little bit unsure leading up to the last probably 5 games or so, but he's people scoring off of his assists, passes from Book. I was looking at the stats, and they're shooting 47% when receiving an assist from Devin Booker and 42% from Tyus. So look into that, what you will, and he's averaging 7 assists per game. So he's getting people in the right shooting pockets, in the right spots on the floor. So he's picking that up really, really well.
Is that your stat of the week?
Yeah, you should have saved that. Should have saved that start of the week, but now I have to remove. Now I have to remove the topic again. Off the back of that,
I have a substat.
Oh, okay. Lucky we've got stat of the week back. Off that topic, Kevin Durant's third quarter turnovers. We've been really bad in third quarters this year. Now we talk about those down spots and everything like that. And I know Mr. Voider's in here watching along. So He is the king of stats research. I'd love to see how many of those opposition points come from Kevin Durant turnovers in the third quarter. Today, the Jazz went on an 11-0 run in the third quarter, and 6 of those points came off Kevin Durant turnovers directly. Why can this man not protect the ball? Why does he turn the ball over 5 to 7 times a game? And generally, 4 or 5 of those 5 to 7 times are when the opposition has momentum. Boyd, you put your hand up. Talk to me.
I put my hand up like a good boy. Hey, he leads the team in turnovers, and he leads the team in opposition points off of turnovers. I just started looking into that today, but it's been bugging me for a long time because he gets a lot of praise all the time for his offensive steadiness, but you need to fucking deduct points because his turnovers are bad, and they result in points for the other fucking team, and result in us not getting
when they have momentum.
So
he does it every time the opposition team has momentum too. He turns the ball over 2 or 3 times in that period.
There's a reason for it. Half time, he all right, boys, are you ready to get back out there? I just have to quick toilet break. Mate, he's on the bloody green stuff, I'm telling you. He's on the marijuana.
just pokes out a couple at halftime. Yeah.
Yes, a couple of puffs.
Jake, what are your thoughts on that? Have you noticed this like I have? Because it's really starting to piss me off.
Oh, I mean, I feel like of Suns podcasters, there might not be anyone more upset with KD on a regular basis than I am. And it's just because I look at him as one of the greatest players, even currently, not just throughout his career, but currently he's still a top 5, a top 10 for sure, player in this league. And it's maddening to see him turn the ball over so much. Right now he's only averaging 3.3 a game. It seems like a lot higher because you have nights like tonight against the Utah Jazz of all teams where he turns it over 5 times. But did you know with the Golden State Warriors, his 3 years there, 2.2, 3.0, and 2.9. When he trusts a point guard to take care of the ball and just focus on scoring, he can do that. This team, though, just continues, as you point out. They say, oh, the other team's made a couple baskets in a row and we've run dry. Force feed KD to make it stop, and he will turn it over once or twice before he's able to get them to stop scoring. Instead of, again, and we talked about this before, right, with Tyus, turn it over to a point guard. Tyus and Monty were brought in to reduce turnovers for this team. And it's just amazing that we kind of panic and we turn to Kevin Durant to fix it. I'd rather turn to Booker or Beal or one of our point guards that we went and got because there's no reason that he needs to do it this way.
And it's and for me, it's the blatantly poor ones. Like there was 2 in a row when Jazz were on that run in the third quarter. One, he dribbled into a double team and then completely ignored the fact that Colin Sexton was standing behind him, and Sexton just tapped the ball out of his hand, fast break, Utah scored. Then next time down the floor, he threw basically a lob pass to somebody standing on the 3-point line with a defender right up in his face. Like, they are just blatantly horrible passes. And then I think the third one was a little lob upsy-daisy over the top to fucking Plumlee, who was trying to cut through the lane with a guy standing right underneath him. And it's just getting so frustrating. Again, Kevin, you are one of the greatest players of all time. But you are one of the greatest players of all time because of your ability in the one-on-one to take somebody to the hole, sure. You do turn the ball over a few times on those, but not as bad. You can cop that. And the fact that you can catch and shoot better than anyone else. You don't need to stand up the top and create the fucking dribble. We've got Tyus Jones, we've got Bradley Beal, and we've got Devin Booker. You need to get off your screens, catch the ball, hit your fucking shot. Stop trying to create when the opposition team is on a run. You are the worst person to have the ball in your hands when the opposition team is on a 10-0 run. Because it's almost a certain turnover. That's where we're at right now with Kevin Durant.
You know
Gentlemen.
how many turnovers? You know how many turnovers we had from our entire bench unit today?
Talk to me, Boyd.
1. You know how many turnovers? Well, he had 5 for the game. We had 11 in total. Fucking, hey, we win that game by 25 fucking points, man.
He generally has 50%
If
of
he
our
doesn't try and
turnovers.
play, mate.
That's what it feels like anyway. Whenever he tries to play, mate, that's what happens. One more little thing, and I feel like I'm kind of being a little bit negative today after a pretty decent week. What, we win 3 out of 4?
Yeah, you fuckhead.
So sorry about this. Bud, please, I implore you, and today we won it, but please, with a challenge in NBA basketball, you can challenge, and if you win, you retain it once, and then you can challenge again. That's fine. But if we use our challenge in the first half every fucking week on 50-50 calls that we might not necessarily win, we're going to lose more than fucking... And it's strategic. You need to keep that for the last quarter. Stop wasting it on shit that isn't blatantly obvious. Boyd, any comments?
About look, I think they haven't been the best used the best. Yeah, I'd save them for later in the game, but yeah, I don't think that really sort of plays into where we're at too much, Gav. It seems like
Really?
a storm in a team. Seems like
Really?
a storm in a teacup there, mate.
Because I'm telling you right now that we've had multiple games in the last 3 to 4 weeks where the opposition team is on a roll. The referee's made a bad call, a blatantly bad call, and we've already burnt our challenge.
Yeah.
And when you're talking about momentum in a game of NBA basketball, you watch it just as much as I do. When momentum's going your way, it's huge.
Gav, when we start, if our losses were coming by 1 bucket, I'll jump in that.
But what happens?
I'll
What happens?
teacup with you.
What happens when that momentum happens and they score? They go on a 12 or 14-0 run, and we could have stopped that at 4 because of a blatantly poor call late in the game.
It's not guaranteed to stop it, mate. It's annoying.
not.
I agree with you. It's annoying, but it's not a fix.
It's a strategic tool that you need to use better, and it's a significant strategic tool.
Okay, mate.
All right,
I
Jake.
What you mean? You want me to take sides?
Do you believe?
Strategic tool?
You forgot the question, haven't you?
Do you believe the challenges are a strategic tool?
Yes, of course they are. But I don't know. To me, when the refs get something blatant and obvious, you take the for sure wins when you can too, because there's no guarantee you're going to get a chance to use them. There's nothing worse than playing a game. Whatever game you're playing and saying, well, I'm going to save this just in case I need it later. And you end up never needing it because you always keep thinking there's something bigger down the line that's going to impact stuff. So 100% it is a strategic tool. It's great if you can save it. But if you see something that's very obvious to you that you know you're going to win, take that, make sure you get the play right, especially if it results like in a basket or a foul or something on a key player.
Just before you go, Nate, Steve, I don't know what your fucking problem is, but you've been invited on to fucking make comment and you're too gutless to get on. I mentioned 5 players that could get him the fucking ball. So if you want to fucking keep going, you know what to do. Send me a fucking message. I'll send you the link. You can get on and you can fucking talk. Otherwise, shut the fuck up. Nate, is it a strategic tool?
Fucking keyboard warriors.
We got
Look,
fucking 5 viewers, and you just fucking tore strips off.
Look, of course, it's a fucking strategic tool, and I've got a pet peeve, and I'm so fucking sick of seeing players do the old Hills hoist. Bring it back. Bring it back. I'm so fucking sick. Every fucking play, there's at least 3 or 4 players in the court whipping it up. Fucking let your coaches do their job. Play your fucking game. That's my comment.
Hey, just the last thing on the look, the refs fuck this thing. They fucking look for any reason to justify their original call, and some of it's fucking egregious, if that's the right word.
Egregious?
But some of it's really
I like it.
egregious. Some of it's egregious. Like I see it, and I just think like you cunts are out there. Oh no, well hang on a second. That's definitely a fingernail that touched him on the way up there. He's fucking nailed it. It stays on the floor with that call. It fucking pisses me off. So yeah, I think that you're fucked when you're trying to use these things, regardless of the situation. But yeah,
Anyway, next, so let's look ahead, right? We've been really frustrated. We've come into the last couple of games. The Suns have been really, really good. What I want to show you guys, and obviously today we had a win over the Jazz, but our next 7 games are against the Hornets, the Hawks, the Wizards, the Pistons, the Cavs, the Nets, and the Wizards. And we're 4.5 games back from the 4th seed.
Oh yeah, we'll drop both those Wizards games.
It's been doom and gloom. It surely has been. If you look at Suns Twitter world and the way that a lot of us have reacted, and it's been fair. But holy shit, this run, and I'll put it back up so that you can all talk to it. This run over the next 7 games, really, if we look at it on face value, the Cavs and maybe the Pistons should be an issue. Let's be honest, it should really only be the Cavs. The Suns are in a unique position right now where they can turn this around and really basically bed themselves down in the playoff race. How do you see this? And Boyd, I'm going to start with you, Boyd, because you were the king of negativity over the last few weeks. But you're slipping slowly, like maybe lubed up a little bit even, and slipped back into a world of positivity. How do you see over that 7 games? Do you think the Suns can be embedded right in the ass of this playoff run by the time this 7 games ends?
Mate, I just need this this positivity to give me a little fucking bit of a look, bit of a wink, and I'm hard again. I'm back in the game. We're about to go on a 10-game win streak, man. We are fucking streaking like Frank the Tank right now. But yeah, look, the only thing I'm upset about is that we've gotten ourselves to a point where we have to second guess beating the fucking Detroit Pistons. Second guess ourselves, and we're second guessing ourselves.
They're an above 500 team, mate, boy.
I fucking know, I know that. But yeah, it doesn't matter. I hate that we're in that position because I know what the potential of this team is. We're starting to tap back into that potential. We're about 50% of the way there. We got a long way to go, but I think we're streaking, man. I think that we're going to embed ourselves, as you said, back in. Did you say top 6 or top 4?
I said the playoff hunt, so that'd be top 6, right? Because 7, 8, 9, 10 is play-in. So we want to be in that top 6. Man. We don't want to be in the play-in. We want to be top 6.
Yeah, I think we do it, man.
Jake?
Well, what's wild about this is that it's been 4 games of good health for the big 3, even now the Beal's on the bench. So how quickly we forget that probably tomorrow somebody's going to get hurt and miss a few more games.
Oh, why?
No,
why
because
would you do that?
It happens to us.
It's always one clock
happening to us.
Yeah, fuck that off. Well, I won't address injuries.
Are you gonna fucking behave?
Sorry about that. That was my twin brother. That guy's a jerk. I tell you what. I think we're going all the way, guys. There's nothing wrong with this team as long as we believe in each other. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, Jay, quick question. Is it a Booker Achilles injury, a rupturing or something?
Oh, fucking shut up.
That's that, Jake.
There we go.
No.
Anyway, mate. Talk to me. How are we looking going back in?
Look, I think your question was, can this team go on the run to move us up to that, number 4 seed or in the 6, right? This team, yes. I still believe they can turn it around. The roster rotation as it currently stands, no, I don't believe so. I don't like watching KD play center in a small ball lineup. I miss the traditional strength that we go in with. Now, he pulled it off today, but if you're going to tell me that there's going to be a quarter worth of minutes a game where KD is playing center for every one of those games you just put up there, then, no, we're not going to clean up a sweep at all. So I think I want to assume that what they're doing now is an experimentation with rotations. And all those games get played before the trade deadline, right? So we have to either fuck Nurk off completely into the depths of reserves or utilize the guy, because I think we spoke at length about the center position, and I still think he's the best option there if he can find that gear back. And, we've got J.O. coming into his own old self that helps us in games and helps stir us up. So we have everything there to get what we need over this next run. It's just whether or not they change the rotations and the players do their part.
All right, Jake, are you going to behave yourself?
I will.
Okay, talk to me.
The Cavs game's going to be tough. I'll focus on the low-hanging fruit here. As so says Jay, as Justin points out, we did just lose to the Hornets. I'm still behaving, and that's my concern. My biggest concern with this upcoming stretch is middling. I'm kind of I obviously I prefer wins than anything, but I'm almost a little worried that might give us false hope. But I would almost prefer that we would struggle instead of, say, going, I don't know, something like 4-4, because I'm worried that it's going to be too much. Okay, guys, we're still tweaking this lineup. We're still tweaking the rotations. Bear with us. No, I want somebody to get a little angry. I want one of these players to start calling each other out in a, not in a abusive way, not like a get me out of here way, but just in a somebody needs to be upset and start throwing some stuff, in the locker room and just being like, I'm sorry, are you Kevin Durant? Are you Devin Booker? Am I Josh Okogie? I have to call you guys out. I think we need that, because hoping and praying that a Jimmy Butler just shows up and fixes it all on his own, it's just not going to happen. So we need to, if we're hoping that, and I think a Jimmy Butler type player improves our chances of actually competing for a title, but we need that. We need something else internally from this team. And so I would love to see us go on an 8-game win streak, or, not 8-game win streak because we won tonight, but win these next 8 in a row, but do it in convincing fashion. Don't do it with we beat the Wizards by 3. We're going to build on that for the next one.
We need a Draymond-esque in the nuts.
Mm-hmm.
No, I think I think you're spot on, mate, and that's the big piece right now is when we do play these games, especially these next 7 games, it has to be convincing. And today felt a little more convincing, but not quite there yet. So it's going to be very, very interesting to see. I think tomorrow night's a huge test because it's the second time we're going to face the Hornets coming off a back-to-back. Last time was in Charlotte, but we all saw that the team just didn't respond well enough on the second night of a back-to-back. So I'm really interested to see how they come out tomorrow night. I honestly do believe that tonight we cruised to the win. We really didn't exert a lot, and this back-to-back's at home. So this is
I haven't watched the game. Turn off at halftime.
This is what they call a revenge game against the Hornets and what happened last time. But let's hope that we see a much better performance out of the Suns coming up against the Hornets, and we can erase that comment from So Says Jay, guys. We just lost to the fucking Hornets, and actually switch it back our way. I know he's a little confused at the moment.
He's not used to being on that side of the fence. Now he
said he's camped on him for 2 weeks. Is what he's done.
The water's warm. The water's warm over here. It's cozy. It's nice. Live in denial with us. Come on, man.
All right, Nate.
One quick thing to point out about the Hornets. Since they beat us, they have not played another game. So they were supposed to play both LA teams, but due to the fires there, they were both postponed. So they've just been basically sitting in Phoenix. Well, they probably maybe traveled, but they've just been sitting there waiting for that rematch with the Suns again. So I think we should have blown them out of the water the first time. But I will say that they should be. We have challenges with very athletic young teams, and all they've been doing is sit around and waiting for us. So I hope.
Yeah, maybe they're out of sync now after not playing for a week.
Could be.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's it.
Let's live in that world.
Let's
live in that world.
Oh
my God,
excuses, man.
Somebody can one of you screenshot this? Can one of you screenshot this, please?
You got to change them every day, Jay.
Screenshot it. We'll send it.
There we go.
He must be tired and cranky.
That Hornets game, they got us on the fast break by like fucking 30 points. If we
that's because KD kept fucking passing the ball to Miles Bridges.
Because we tried to get him out last season, he still thinks he's on our team because he's too focused on chilling and balling and not like seeing.
He'll certainly think he's on our team if KD keeps passing him the fucking ball. Nate, hit me up with stat of the week. Boyd's dropped a couple here.
Oh, this is a substat discussion.
Give me a substat discussion.
Boyd always has all the numbers. He likes his full-on picking up the mantle from Mr. King and doing his best with it. So I just come with a substat. I don't want to preach anything too special. I just wanted to look at today. I was doing it this morning, just looking at team salaries for the year. And I want to call the segment Bang for Buck. So who's spent the most money and where are they sitting in the standings with their win-loss records? So Phoenix spent the most by like $21 million. And we are currently sitting 11th in the West with a sub 500 rating. Second in the list is Mini, $205 million. They're seventh in the West, 20 and 17. I'm just looking at who's spent the money and who's actually getting bang for buck. So I'm just going down the list, and you can make your own decision about who's actually getting bang for buck. But it's certainly not us based on where we're standing. Boston, $199 million. They're sitting second in the East, 27th and 11th, and they just won a chip. So good on them. Milwaukee, $197 million, fourth in the East at 20 and 16. Also have won a chip leading into that, so why wouldn't they spend? New York look fucking great. Fifth in overall spend at $191 million. They're third in the East with a 25 and 14 record. Then you jump down, and I wasn't going to go further than 5, but I wanted to look at 6 and 7 because it's two teams we fucking really don't like much. The Lakers spent $187 million, and they're actually sixth in the West. At 20 and 16, and Miami at 186 million, seventh in the East with 19 and 17. This is what I'm looking at. All these teams have spent less than us and are doing better than us.
Where's Cleveland on that list?
They're down below 11, I believe.
They're getting the most bang for buck this year.
Yeah, exactly. But you spend $226 million, and we've got a losing record, and we're barely a playing team.
We've taken a swing and miss in this league. We've got an aggressive owner. We've got a CBA that's fucked us in the ass. It's just these are the lumps in our porridge, mate, and we're fucking eating it. But hey,
don't forget to chew.
Hey, here's a little stat. The month of January. We're averaging the least turnovers that we've averaged since the start of the season, down 2 per game, down to I think it's 11.5, and we're up at about 14.5 as an average in previous months. Also, what do you guys think of our reverting back to the midi game? We're shooting the 3 ball a lot less, and also we're not shooting that as well. Are we?
When did the change happen?
Game now?
When did the change happen?
After probably the first 3 months of probably around December.
Because I think it's been far more noticeable the last 4 to 5 games.
Yeah, it
than
has
before
been.
that.
It has been. So
and
we've dropped down from
we've won what, 4 of 5 or 3 of 5?
We were averaging about 37 per game. We're down to about 32 now per game as an average for the month of January. But yeah, we're shooting that mid-range ball very well. Not back at the Chris Paul era, not back at that level, but yeah, it's just we've regressed in what started off so well for us. I don't know if it's there for it's going to be the staple going on. But what do you guys think? Do we just tough out? Like, we're winning some games now. Do we just tough this fucking midi thing out now, or do we go back to what we started with that?
I think it'll level out. I don't think it'll go back to where it was in those early games.
Yeah.
But I think it'll go back up. At the moment, we're just trying to win games.
Yeah.
And to win games, we use the strength,
right?
the strength of those 3 players who can put points on quicker than anyone else. And the strength of those 3 players is a mid-range shot.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think it'll balance back out, though.
Cool bananas.
Jake?
Stat of the week?
Okay, Jake's not listening anymore.
No, what? Nate had a stat, and then Boyd had some stats, and then I thought you were going to ask.
Okay, what was Boyd talking about, Jake?
He was talking about how we're doing more mid-range shots than 3-point shots, and
okay, what thought? Is it gonna stay that way?
Yeah, I think so. I think essentially that we're gonna. I think Bud is realizing that we got to let our stars play to their strengths on something like that. But you're right. I was I thought you were going to ask me for a stat of the week, and I was busy researching stuff. And if I may, how about this? Grayson Allen, who started off this season and is currently still shooting 40% from 3. Since the month of January, since 2025 kicked off, he's shooting 53% from 3, which is a phenomenal.
That's a lovely stat.
So I think we're all excited to see the old Grayson back, last year's Grayson back. Not just taking it into the teeth of the defenses we've seen the last couple of games, but man's knocking down shots. And he was injured coming into January. He got knocked out in that December 21st game. So he came back and just started putting the ball in the hoop again.
Hey, Jake, is he doing this out of the goodness of his heart, or is he just trying to get traded out of Phoenix?
Or maybe it fits in your idea of, are the stars playing more in the mid-range and it's opening up Grayson Allen for more threes?
So what is beautiful about that, and thank you, Jake. Great research in short time, fantastic. What is great is that this tells us that Jake does not watch the Aussie Suns Fans podcast, because only one person brings a stat, and then we discuss that further. It's just the Boyd threw something else up. But thank you for the pointless stat anyway, there, Jake.
The stat.
Who was your player?
This is horrible.
It was a great stat though. Boyd, who was your player of the week?
It's Book. It's definitely Book. Yeah, Book for obvious reasons. He's getting back to Armani mode.
Jake.
Yeah, I'll go with Book. Like I said, we're seeing total game Book. Yeah, he's figuring it out.
Nate.
I'm taking a different angle on this one. For me, it's Ryan Dunn. Not for the stats, but for taking the opportunity that's in front of him with Royce out and the rotational changes, getting the opportunity to start making the most of it and watching him grow even in such a short period of time. And what he did in today's game, I just enjoyed watching him out there. So for me, it's Ryan Dunn.
And for me, it's Bradley Beal for some of the same reasons. But out of the 3 games, I think Bradley Beal's played some absolutely beautiful basketball. But he's accepted the role. He embraced the role. He hasn't whinged. He hasn't pouted. He's stayed connected. And on court, he's been fantastic. And look, it's good to see Book back, but Book's been back for 2 games out of the 4. So, Nate, who needs to pull their finger out?
Oh, I thought we were going to fuck that guy. Pull your finger out. Oof. So last week I went with Book, and it appears he did. Can I double up on my fuck that guy and pull your finger out, or is that not allowed?
Sure you can. We've got to go for a beer first, so people will forget by the time we get there.
Look, pull your finger out. It's going to hurt me to say this, but it's Mason Plumlee. I love the guy. I was the most ecstatic out of everyone when we signed him coming off the bench, but I still have this little fucking fanboy fantasy, whatever, of the Mason Plumlee from Charlotte. And he got an opportunity to start with us and be that again. And while he's looked good in patches, he hasn't looked like a starting center for a game, which leaves me sitting on my fucking Nurk box, pining away for him. So with due respect, please pull your finger out, Mason.
Boyd.
Oh, mate. Well, it's got to be Yusuf Nurkic. I haven't seen much from him this week. He really needs to fucking pull his finger out and fucking do something. You'd be productive, at least. But no, if
it's got to be his really fucking choice, though. I mean, he's got to actually have an opportunity to pull it out. Otherwise, he's just sitting on the bench with a full thumb up there.
Might as well enjoy it at that point.
Yeah, I know. No, look, I haven't really got anyone. That's just a funny one, but it's probably KD with your turnovers, mate. Pull your finger out and fucking just defer a bit more. Let someone else set the table. Just get to your spots, man. Let's go there and wait.
Jake.
I echo Boyd once again. 13 turnovers in 4 games. Just, yeah. Let a point guard put you in the right position.
As much as I hate to say it, I'm also with Boyd. Kevin Durant, pull your fucking finger out of your ass. Stop trying to be the fucking point guard and get off the ball.
I would kill everyone in this room for a drop of sweet beer.
So, Homer, please feel free to tell us anything.
Boyd, who do you want to have a beer with this week, and what drink of choice would you have with them? Jake started this, by the way. We're now into drink of choice as well.
I know this because I watched the Aussie Suns Fans.
Hey, you were on the episode.
I just want to. I want to have a shandy. I want to have a shandy because it's a Sunday. I want to have a shandy with Gillespie, Jason Gillespie, Colin Gillespie. Anyway, yeah, Gillespie. He's coming back from injury soon, and I haven't heard anything about him. But I just
because he's on the reserve list.
Yeah, I know. He's our two-way. He's our two-way savior, Gillespie. No, I just I just want to have a beer with you. Say, hey, mate, what are you know, what's the temperature there, buddy? What's the temperature on this and that? Are you better than Tyus? Are you going to be our savior in the coming years? All that sort of shit. Anyway, Gillespie.
Jake, you're going to be better than Tyus.
I'm going to do a glass of Chianti, a little Italian wine. So a little inside baseball, but I grew up Catholic. And for those of you who know, we serve wine, that's supposed to, you serve at communion. And I just remember I was an altar server, and they would always have a bottle of Chianti that we always thought was kind of cool because they had the straw like bottle and stuff. And Bradley Beal's been talking all about his faith, which apparently he's has to tap into while he's making $51 million a year to come off the bench in the last 4 games. So I just want to give him a little bit of the sacrament, let him have a little bit of the sacrament, and just say, hey, man, it's okay. Go be the best 6th man in the league. Let's do it.
Nate?
Look, last week we didn't really read the room. We all pulled our beer out and forgot that Jake actually had his little fucking sacrimonious occasion of his own.
That one, yeah.
I should obviously at this point go, hey, let's have a beer with Jake. But as we established, we still weren't invited to anything, so fuck that guy. I might go with Book.
You're gonna be so pissed when that invite shows up.
I put an absolute shitstorm on Book last week. I think we all did, but he did turn it around. He did pull his finger out, so I want to throw kudos with a beer.
Justin is right. We read the room just fucking right.
And I'm sure there's going to be some insensitive remark that comes out the next week when we pod next about, people involved in LA and stuff like that we'd be like, fuck, we should have been aware of that. But we're not right now. So it's a disclaimer.
I want to have a beer and maybe a nice soft pale ale, maybe. I think might be the best choice for it.
Soft one?
What was that?
A little soft pale ale?
A little soft pale ale. I forget who I wanted to have beer with. Because Jake oh no, I remember. Because Jake made me really upset about the fact that he still hadn't invited us to the wedding. I want to have a beer with Charles Barkley because he clearly watched the pod and then fucking unloaded on Book being way too nice to actually stand up and own the team, which is exactly what we said last week. Exactly what I said anyway. So I think Chuck and I would enjoy a pale, maybe over a game of golf. I'd really like to watch Chuck and that weird ass fucking golf swing he's got. I think we'd enjoy it. So Chuck, hit me up. I'll be over in Phoenix in March. Hit me up. Let's go out. We'll have a hit. I know a guy. His name's Justin. He's got all the connections, all the hookups to the golf courses in Phoenix. I'm sure that we can, like us three, and maybe we can get someone else. We'll go have a hit, couple of pale ales. It'll be beautiful.
Actually, Gav, next week, can we change this segment from have a beer with to play around with?
I don't mind play around.
Let's golf it up for next session.
Except
around.
Boyd's never played golf in his life. So
he does when someone else plays the green fees.
And do you want to know?
Play around with.
Around, yes. Play a round of golf. Yeah, he was talking about play.
No, I'm mature now. I'm allowed to have children again. I've got my blue card reissued. It's like fucking, it's all above board.
All I know is the look on Boyd's face was basically this.
Fuck that guy.
Boyd, outside of what Nate just said, who this week made you sit back and go, you know what? Fuck that guy.
Who? Have I disconnected?
Boyd?
Did you just...
You are always disconnected, my friend.
We hear you.
Boyd?
Story of your fucking life.
So I think my internet's playing up, but my fuck.
Sell your 10 children.
My fuck that guy goes to. I haven't really got one, so I'm out for this one.
Wow.
How about all
he had
the
a soft ale.
Theorists? How about all the conspiracy theorists saying that the fires were lit on purpose by fucking the insurance companies? How about them fucking kooks?
There you go. That's fine. Well done.
Yeah.
Jake.
Basketball related. Anyway.
Who made you sit back this week and say, fuck that guy?
It's got to be Gavin Newsom, the governor of California, the guy just letting Los Angeles burn to the ground. Quite sad. He's doing a terrible job. He needs to resign. Gavin Newscum is what I call him. But if I'm going to keep it to a basketball mindset, I'm going to say Richard Jefferson. Fuck that guy. He does not know Kevin Durant, Devin Booker, if their relationship isn't working out and maybe they're not pals again. Trust me, those guys are still just chilling and balling. They look like they're still having a blast together.
Jeff does still play it up that he's an Arizona guy, doesn't he? He's still connected to some shit. Fucking hell. Good call. Fuck that guy.
Nate.
Look, I can't pinpoint it to an absolute position, but when it comes to head of responsibility to make the call, it's got to go with Bud. The coach that benched Nurk for 2 DNPs, fuck that guy. So that decision, wherever it came from, it had to land on Bud. It could have been James Jones. It could have been fucking team psychiatrist for all we fucking know. but it lands on Bud, and I'm just so pissed that he's not playing. So fuck that.
Okay, so I'm going to reserve my fuck that guy. Does anyone else want to throw out a fuck that guy?
Hey, I was thinking about giving it to Bud. I was thinking about giving it to Bud for letting this team go back to the Midi Mafia, and also, a little bit for DNP and Nurk. But he also had the balls to kahunas to fucking go and bench Beal, and that all worked out pretty well. We're on a winning streak. So, I had to quickly change to the fucking fire stuff.
Are we still doing week's predictions, or did we just blanket cover it to the All-Star game?
No, we just blanket cover now because we've all been very upset. I'm going to give my fuck that guy to Kevin Durant. KD, stop trying to think you're the fucking king of the world with the ball in your hands. Get off the ball. Most importantly, this happened during our conversation. Now, I don't trust this guy. I want to put that out there before anything else happens because this guy wants to be the new Woj. I'm not sure he's right there, but it's worth talking about.
Is he in our group? Oh, shit.
Evan Sidery has said that the Suns or Hornets have held preliminary trade discussions that would send Nurkic and second-round picks for Nick Richards. Phoenix has removed Nurkic from the rotation as they seek a trade. Charlotte would send another player alongside Richards in the deal.
I just can't believe Evan Sidery's got a beard now. I still remember him looking like a 14-year-old.
Boyd, how has that made your pants feel?
Full, yes. Give me that. Hey, and there's nothing wrong with Evan Sidery. Evan Sidery.
No, he's a nice guy. He's just
doing, and people go on about him fucking aggregating and doing all that sort of shit. Every fucker does it. Everyone aggregates and fucking does that shit. It's just because it's a new person doing it in a certain way, and it's
not really. He's been doing Locked On for like fucking ever and bored the fucking tears out of me.
Yeah, but he's a good bloke. But
he's a nice bloke. I've met him. He's actually very friendly, but he looked like a 14-year-old when I met him, and now he's got a beard and he's so mature and shit.
If that is the case, fucking hoorah! I think Nick Richards would be another injection of athleticism and energy. No, he's not gonna have to take air balls. We're not the Charlotte Hornets. We've got other people that can take shots. He's not gonna have to take them shots, Gav. Don't worry about it. Okay, come over here. The water's warm. I'm telling you, mate. Nick Richards is the fucking medicine. Let's go,
Jake.
I mean, I would like it. If all we're doing is adding second-round picks to it, and I'm very curious who the extra person would be. I'm guessing somebody that's just like a filler minimum contract as well that we're not too excited about. But, one thing that I think would be kind of a concern is that Richards is like 40 pounds lighter than Nurk. And if we are at all concerned about interior defense and saying, oh, Oso is athletic, but, he's not ready to take on some of the big guys, then we're going to only have Plumlee at that point. So I would still do it. I would see what Nick could offer, but I would have some concerns about, are we going to be doing a lot of KD at the 5 type stuff? Because Nick Richards, he's 7 feet tall, but he's 245. And so he's a little bit lighter for a center.
Bring back Oliver Miller. Jake,
Nice.
for Jake. He needs a fatty at the 5.
I was going to say there's nothing wrong with Nick Richards, but there's a few things wrong with Nick Richards. But there's nothing wrong with him being a starting center. I don't.
Is he an upgrade?
No, he's not an upgrade. And I just want to, everyone's seen Yellowstone, right? When they get all the dregs and they need a jolt of fucking team, fucking family environment into them, they brand the cunts. They put the big fucking thing on their shoulder, the big fucking brand there. This is what we need to do with Nurk. Just get a big fucking Suns brand, burn his skin a little bit, heat him up and get him back. Because Richards is not a fucking upgrade.
Well, all I'll say, gents, is that the Aussie Suns Fans have podcast. So therefore, within the next 4 to 6 hours, there's a very good chance that something happens because it's going to be another entire week before we pod again. So it always happens now. Boyd, last comments. Where can we find you?
No, it's just my comments are. It's nice to be positive again. I've burnt my fucking Miami Heat jersey. It's fucking gone. Tyler Hero's a fucking loser again. Bam can eat my ass. And it's nice to be a proper Suns fan again. Yeah, you can find me at Woods83 on the Twitter, at Aussie Suns Fans on the Instagrams, and you can find me at Fucko on a mystery platform.
Someone take a photo again.
We still suck.
Jake.
Yes, you can find me at Fallen Founder, and you can see me at nighttime on Saturday nights in Australia. No,
it's very early
Sunday
morning.
Right. Sunday mornings,
Midnight to fucking whatever.
But when you wake up and you have your morning coffee, you can check us out at Suns Planet, and something just fly by you there, Gav?
No, that's the Thunder in Melbourne right now.
No, I was like, wow, you are.
I hope you guys didn't hear it. But anyway.
He's off his bed. It's just fucking.
Yeah, keep going, Jake.
No, that's at Suns Planet and at Fallen Founder.
Nate.
You asked if there's any last thoughts, so I'm going to take up a couple of minutes here, seeing we've only been going an hour and 26 of them. I want to give a quick shout out to Lissy. I was watching the post-game pod today on Suns Jam, and he was doing it on his own, and he was clearly struggling even after a win because he was looking at the next 4 games. This is why I asked if we're talking about the next 4 games, and he was like, I'd be happy with 2-2, but I just don't know. I hate this team. And like, it was just, there was no love or confidence. He was just, I'm fucking done. I'm done with this episode. So a little bit of love to Lissy. And to close out on a positive note, I did want to read back Bradley Beal's comments on JO. It was in the Suns, on the Suns app, where he was talking about I'll just read his comment. That's a true pro. True professionalism, the work he puts in every day. When another team goes on a run, he's the one encouraging us. Players like that, you need, and they are your toughest soldiers. So to end on a positive note, Brad said this about JO, and I'm just glad that we're seeing it again. And maybe this is a turning point. Who knows? But it's a positive note to finish on. At Nicky's Falcon on the socials, go for gold.
Follow us at Aussie Suns Fans on X, Twitter, Blue Sky, Instagram, Facebook, all that sort of stuff. Click like, subscribe, comment, do all that fun stuff that boosts us up, gets us there. Check out Suns Planet. Thank you, Jake, for jumping on and joining us tonight. We always love having a guest on, even though it always drags us an extra half an hour. But to be honest, it was kind of a lazy Sunday, so it worked out so well today. Just to sit back and talk some Suns basketball, talk some shit about each other, keep Justin entertained in the chat. And
your husband something to do on a Saturday night because he can't go out trolling for women anymore?
You know, at the end of the day, what the Suns have done over the last week and what we're going to do moving forward is show up and not be there to fuck spiders.
Pierre Cardin.
Defers to Booker for the long range.
P-H-O-E-N-I-X. Phoenix Suns, and you know we up next. Yeah, we working for that championship ring. We the Valley, it ain't nothing but a thing. P-H-O-E-N-I-X. Phoenix Suns, and you know we up next. Yeah, we working for that championship ring. We the Valley, it ain't nothing but